I'm Stephen Gold, the author of The Return of Breaking Law, the book What I Wrote, and I've only got a few copies in the bookcase behind me. Incidentally, thanks for your comments on my earlier videos. The 1st of October 2021 was a Friday. Get in some fish, good film on Talking Pictures, Channel 81, Freeview. Maybe watch a box set. Now, a raft of court fees are going up this Thursday, the 30th of September, the day before. I did warn you on my blog. Do read that blog. How many times must I tell you? The blog doesn't do gas and electricity, alas. So if it's not the 30th of September when you're watching this, you can save £20 on a civil application notice, and there are savings to be made on various Children Act applications. If you want a divorce, you can save £43 by applying before the 30th of September. The new fee is £593. Come to think of it, you can save £593 by reconciling. Unhappily, there's no obligation on you to try for a reconciliation or mediate before you start a divorce or a partnership dissolution case. Make a small claim in the county court against your plumber for failing to cure your dripping tap, and there will be free mediation. And compulsory mediation in most civil claims is only a few writs away. C'est la vie. The 1st of October is a real McCoy. Apart from my hake and chips and that film on the box set, everything legal is happening or has happened on that day, or so it seems. The pandemic has virtually paralysed landlords or slowed them down to -10 tortoise miles an hour from taking action to evict tenants they want out, even tenants who've chosen not to pay rent or any part of it, though they could have afforded to do so. One of a series of irritations to landlords has been the increased notice periods they've had to give to tenants. At one stage, instead of 2 months' notice for an assured short-hold tenant who'd done no wrong, the landlord had to give 6 months' notice. Well, from the 1st of October, we're back to the old notice periods, anything from 14 days to 2 months, depending on the type of tenancy and why the landlord wants the tenant out. The landlord who's already given the longer notice may well get out their calendar and decide to withdraw that notice and serve a second notice for the shorter period. As ever, there's a nice trap set for the landlord to fall into. The prescribed notice forms for England have been amended for the 2000th time since the pandemic kicked in. They must be used new forms as from the 1st of October. Use the wrong form and the tenant may have a defence to a possession claim that the notice was legally ineffective. There are changes too for businesses which owe money. There's a revised regime from the 1st of October until the 25th of March next year for the creditor of a company which seeks to wind up the company because it's in debt to the creditor. If the debt is for rent, no winding up proceedings will be allowed if the debt is coronavirus related. For other debts of at least £10,000, the general position is that the creditor must engage with the company to try and agree some settlement proposals before launching winding up proceedings. Should you be a solicitor and glimpse into the mirror, if you can bear it, you may detect a smile, but if you're going to lose a civil court case which the solicitor has conducted against you and be ordered to pay the winner's legal costs, take the mirror down. From the 1st of October, the guideline fee which the solicitor can charge for each hour they've worked on the case has gone up for work done from the 1st of October. Don't pass out. This doesn't apply to small claims. The guideline rate will depend on where the solicitor has their office, Wigan or the West End of London, and the experience and qualifications of whoever has actually done the work. Well, here's a taster. A City of London solicitor who's been at it for at least 8 years would command £512 an hour. I'll just wait a moment for you to inhale the smelling salts and stand up again, okay? On the Isle of Wight, they'd command £261. That's better. The rates could be higher for a very complicated case or lower for a doddle of a case. They apply where the court is summarily assessing the cost and would be used not just for the trial, but for the procedural hearings. Maybe you're being forced out of your home, not by your landlord, but because of a compulsory purchase order or public redevelopment. Now, part of the compensation you're then entitled to is for distress and inconvenience in being displaced. This compensation goes up for anyone displaced on or after the 1st of October. A displaced tenant will get a fixed £7,100, up from £6,500. Owner-occupiers also gain. The limit for them is to be £71,000, up from £65,000, and it's based on 10% of market value. It's all happening with domestic abuse. There's a new act, the Domestic Abuse Act of 2021, the title makes sense, some of which came into force on, altogether now, the 1st of October. Now, legal aid isn't available for much these days, but for someone wanting legal aid for family cases involving domestic abuse to them, it is obtainable, subject to means. To show the legal aid people that there has been domestic abuse, a GP's letter may be needed. From the 1st of October, the GP is prohibited from charging for it. And the meaning of domestic abuse is revised. This is going to impact on measures the court can take to protect a party or witness in family proceedings who's been subjected to domestic abuse by another party or their relative or is at risk of it. For example, being allowed to give evidence remotely and not being directly cross-examined by the alleged culprit. This the court could order. It will also impact on further measures under the Act yet to be implemented. The new definition emphasises that domestic abuse is not just physical violence, but can also be emotional, controlling, or coercive, or economic abuse. Economic abuse, or as defined as any behaviour that has an adverse effect, one that is substantial, on your ability to use your money. You will not buy any more hake fillets, or keep your money. You will hand over your wages to me, or acquire money. You will give up your job and you will stay at home and serve me. Well, there's some food for thought, not hake. For more law, if you can stand it, and without my face, except on a page at the start, do read my book, The Return of Breaking Law. You can get your money back if the pages fall out. They won't, unless you tear them out. And if you have any comments on these legal changes or suggestions for topics you'd like me to cover in the future, do say so in the comments section under this video. Take care.